Seven. Over here. Seven. Over here. Look here. Seven. Look here. Seven. Look here. Seven over here. Seven. Over here. Seven. Smile.
Hey everybody, it's your pal, Seven McAllister here. I'm feeling a bit under the weather, so if my voice sounds a little off, I apologize. Is this the worst best friend ever? Should this little psychopath really be given a weapon? Is this the most unrealistic human being in movie history? I'm Seven McAllister for Seven Entertainment. Let's take a look at 7 Christmas movies that send terrible messages. Now, before we get into this, we appreciate your support, so if you enjoy this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, give a sweet little nudge to that notification bell, and hype us up. Hype it! Number 1, Love Actually. If there's one plotline in Love Actually that deserves to be launched directly into the sun, it's the one where Mark decides the most festive thing he can do is emotionally stalk his best friend's wife. Yeah, the cue card confession, the scene people inexplicably call romantic, is actually the cinematic equivalent of a red flag wrapped in tinsel. Let's break it down. Mark films his best friend's wedding like he's directing a personal obsession documentary, then treats Juliet like she is Voldemort. Can't speak to her unless it's in cryptic, passive-aggressive riddles. Juliet finally discovers his secret, which is that every photo and video is a shrine to her face. And yeah, it's Keira Knightley, so we totally get it. But instead of calling the police or at least changing the locks, she's like, oh, you're emotionally unhinged. That's sweet. And then comes the Christmas Eve grand gesture where Mark stands outside her house with cue cards like he's about to take her hostage with poetry. He literally says to me, you are perfect, which, cool, except she is married to your best friend, my dude. Less than perfect. Juliet responds with a pity kiss, which somehow fans interpret as heartwarming instead of, no, please, no. But the worst part, the movie rewards him. There's no consequence. The friend doesn't find out. They just have a weirdo kiss and then move on with their lives. And as we continue this list, you're going to think I'm stretching on some of these, and maybe I am. Sometimes it's tough to come up with a full 7, but Keira Knightley herself thought the scene was creepy and originally played it as such. In an interview with Variety, she said the director had to reshoot it because she was looking at Andrew Lincoln like he was creepy. Her response was, but it is quite creepy. So, Merry Christmas, and may all your holidays be free of men who mistake boundary violations for romance. Number 2, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. All right, let's be honest. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is less a heartwarming Christmas classic, more of an HR training video for a toxic workplace. The North Pole's basically a hostile environment where everyone, elves, reindeer, Santa himself, are one glowing nasal cavity away from full-blown discrimination. Rudolph pops out with a shiny nose, and instead of saying, wow, what a unique kid, we love it, the entire Christmas industrial complex reacts like he's a walking OSHA violation. And Santa is the friggin' worst. The man straight up marches into the family home, immediately starts trash talking their newborn, takes one look at Rudolph, shakes his head, and basically like, yo, fix your defective kid, Donner. He's ruining Christmas morale. Then he sings a song about how great he is and bails. And the message, we will treat you like garbage until your difference turns out to be profitable for us. Rudolph doesn't get love, he gets a job. Congrats, kids. You're the North Pole's newest piece of emergency equipment. True Christmas classic if you enjoy your holiday stories with a side of systemic bias. Number 3, A Christmas Story. Everybody remembers A Christmas Story. TBS won't let us forget it. It's a cozy little tale about a lovable little tyke who wants a BB gun for Christmas. But if you actually watch it with adult eyes, Ralphie isn't just a plucky underdog, he's kind of an asshole. First, he's terrible to his little brother Randy on the regular. Randy's out here dressed like a starfish in a snowsuit, and Ralphie treats him like a crash test dummy. Then there's poor Flick, whose tongue meets a frozen flagpole because Ralphie and the boys decide peer pressure is more fun than basic human empathy. Does Ralphie try to help? Nah. He abandons Flick like a getaway driver, letting the poor kid freeze to death while getting peeled off the pole by emergency services. Oh, what a Hallmark moment. And we can't forget the Schwartz betrayal, the F moment when the old man unleashes his foghorn of rage after Ralphie drops an F-bomb. Ralphie doesn't take responsibility. He rats out Schwartz so fast it would make a mafia informant blush. Schwartz gets a foam-based beating while Ralphie sits there like an angelic little snitch. And finally, Ralphie's pièce de résistance, he goes feral on poor Scud Farkas, full-on demon mode, punching, screaming, crying. You know, Scud had it coming, but let the punishment fit the crime, you little psycho. So yeah, in the end, Ralphie gets a BB gun because this is the kind of kid you definitely want to hand a weapon. Number 4, Frosty the Snowman. We like to consider this one the greatest parenting fail of all time. Disguised as a charming holiday tale, the plot kicks off with a little girl, Karen, meeting a snowman who literally just appeared out of nowhere thanks to a stolen magical hat. Normal kids might be excited for like 5 minutes, then, alert an adult, but no, not Karen. She decides her life plan is now abandon everything I know and hop on a train with a sentient snowman who I just met. Yeah, you read that right. The 7-year-old girl becomes essentially a hobo, boarding a speeding train, traveling hundreds of miles with a stranger made entirely of ice. Safety, irrelevant. Common sense, out the window. Child Protective Services, come on, who needs those? The moral seems to be if someone sparkles and can talk, just follow them anywhere. Life is an adventure. What about Frosty himself? He's a snowman who melts if the snow hits him too hard, so Karen loads him onto a refrigerated train car. Never mind the fact the kid does not seem to be wearing pants. By the time they hook up with Santa, Karen has spent the entire story engaging in reckless behavior that would terrify any responsible adult. But hey, Frosty's alive, everyone's singing, and it's magical. Oh, and there's a cherry on top of this nightmare sandwich. Wait, you wouldn't put a cherry on a sandwich. Sorry, you know what I mean. Santa drops this kid off at her home in the middle of the night on her friggin' roof. How's she supposed to get down? Pantsless. Number 5, Home Alone. Home Alone, the heartwarming tale of a kid left home alone who somehow survives a home invasion by turning a suburban house into a death trap theme park. Problem, the movie is basically a masterclass on how to commit multiple felonies and get cheered for it. Kevin McAllister, that name sounds familiar. Booby traps, they're cute. They're assault, arson adjacent, attempted murder. Oh, and there's this minor detail called the law. Yeah, setting lethal traps to maim strangers is illegal. Let's look at the criminal law. Booby traps intended to injure, maim, or kill someone can be treated as assault with a deadly weapon, attempted murder, even manslaughter if somebody actually dies. Doesn't matter if the intended target is a criminal, the law generally doesn't allow private citizens to set lethal traps. Now, you're allowed to defend yourself in many states, but lethal traps are almost never considered reasonable self-defense because the force can't be targeted only at an intruder. Anyone, including innocent people, first responders, or even kids, could be injured. In Illinois, where Kevin's giant house is located, under 720 ILCS 5195, a section of Illinois' criminal code, it is a Class 3 felony to fortify a residence or building using booby traps, including any device designed to injure or kill somebody who enters. You can't claim self-defense in the traditional sense because the trap activates regardless of who enters. That removes the justification that a human-on-human confrontation sometimes allows. So yeah, Kevin literally rigs his home like a Rube Goldberg death machine. Those police probably have something to say to the kid. Number 6, Elf. Of all the wild things in Elf, a raccoon fights like he's in the UFC, a department store Santa throws hands, and an office full of adults don't question a man in tights, nothing is more unhinged than Emily Hobbs' reaction to her husband having a secret kid. Most people would need therapy, paperwork, maybe a forensic accountant, but Emily, she hears, surprise, I fathered a child with another woman, and responds like someone just told her that brunch got moved to 11. And then she happily invites this full-grown man-child to live with them, not just a weekend stay, not an Airbnb nearby. No. She says, sure, Walter, let this 6'5" tall sugar gremlin who thinks he's an elf share a bathroom with our 10-year-old. Emily doesn't ask a single follow-up question, not, is he dangerous? Not, does he understand locks? The movie wants us to think that Emily is warm, open-hearted, a real nurturer, but let's be honest, she is a Christmas miracle of denial. A man shows dressed up like a North Pole escapee, screams about toy making, eats spaghetti with maple syrup, and she's like, "Aw, sweet." Emily honestly deserves an award, not for kindness, but for having the world's highest tolerance for nonsense. Or maybe she's just numb from years of being married to Walter Hobbs, the human black cloud, Either way, we gotta protect Michael. That kid has seen way too much. Number 7, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the movie that turned a perfectly simple Dr. Seuss story about kindness into a full-blown, actually the villain was right kind of manifesto. In today's Hollywood, every bad guy needs a tragic backstory. Disney made Maleficent a misunderstood forest ant. Wicked turned the Wicked Witch of the West into a green-skinned beacon of truth. And Ron Howard's Grinch film, well, it practically invented the trend. According to this movie, the Grinch isn't just, a cranky old menace who commits mass burglary. He's just a bullied orphan, so really, aren't we the villains, or the Who's? I know we weren't there. Except now, the Grinch still breaks into every home in town, steals Christmas, emotionally devastates an entire civilization, traumatizes the Who's. But hey, they were mean first. That excuses everything, right? Then there's Whoville itself, portrayed as so obnoxiously cheerful and materialistic that the movie basically tells the kids, if people annoy you, rob them blind, they'll learn something. And the Who's do learn something, not that stealing is bad, but that Christmas is too commercialized. Oh, by the way, if you get a chance, swing by McDonald's for the Grinch meal. Meanwhile, the Grinch does a grand total of 0 jail time and gets invited to dinner like he didn't commit felony-level holiday larceny. So the takeaway, villains aren't really bad. They're misunderstood icons who simply need a hug, a flashback, or a sad childhood montage. And if you commit mass theft but cry afterwards, congratulations. You're the hero now. Well, there's our list, and I leave out any other Christmas movies that send the wrong message or so. Please leave them in the comments section below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, do us a holiday solid. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, tippity-tap that notification bell, and hype us up. Till next time, I am Seven McAllister for 7 Entertainment saying bye-bye.